Ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome to the talk you've all been waiting for this afternoon from igus. My name is Matthew Aldridge and I'm joined by my colleague all the way from Scotland, Rob Day. And today we're going to be speaking to you about dry spin lead screw technology. So igus, well, if you don't know what we do in terms of our products, please come to our stand. We're stand 180, just literally around the corner from here, and you can get a flavour of what we do. But today, for the next few minutes, we're talking about dry spin, and we want to cover 3 points: what it is, why this product has been developed, invented by igus, and how it works. But before we get there, we just need to go through a little bit of a very quick potted history of igus, and it started just over 60 years ago, 1964, and it was started by the gentleman that you see in the photo. He's called Gunther. He's still alive now, very old man, but he's still alive, and he was fascinated by the world of technical plastics, even though he was a carpenter by trade, and he bought a little desktop molding machine and started making parts which customers were struggling to make out of plastic. One of the first orders was from Peerberg carburetors, back in the day when carburetors were used extensively in the automotive industry, and that's a photo of the part there. And igus was born, and the message there, and continues to be to customers: give me your problem and we'll try and solve it using technical plastics. Well, since then the range has grown massively, so now we have a whole range of plain bearing materials. We're the world's largest manufacturer of plastic bearings, and of course the best manufacturer. We can calculate the life of a plastic bearing in any application given the information. But we also do linear slides, we do robots, we do plastic ball bearings, we do a whole range of chains from moving cables and hoses. All of these parts come with a 4-year guarantee, and you can see more of these parts on our stand. And these are made in our factory in Cologne. That's an aerial shot. Actually, it's now out of date. It's even larger than that now. We employ about 5,000 people worldwide, about 5,500 actually. So that's what igus is all about. To talk now about lead screws. So when we have a lead screw system, you've got two obvious elements to that. You have the screw, which is typically made of metal, and then if you're using an igus system, then you have a nut. That could be all kinds of different shapes and sizes depending on the design. So you have that lead screw nut, and you put those together to make a linear unit. This is nothing new. It's been used for years and years, and traditionally this is what you see when you think of a lead screw. So we have brass lead screws. These need to be lubricated, normally covered in grease. You could have other kinds of metal lead screws, or you can have a plastic lead screw. And if you make that lead screw nut from a very basic kind of plastic, then usually you need to lubricate it as well. All igus products, and this includes dry spin, all igus products require no lubrication whatsoever. They run completely dry and have a long life without any lubrication at all. So yeah, that's what you're typically looking at when you look at a lead screw system. Is this you now?
Yeah.
Now Rob will tell you. It's getting more technical, so I hand over to my colleague Rob.
So, hi there, I'm Rob Day. I'm the dry spin product manager for igus UK, and today I'm just going to give you a little bit more information on what exactly dry spin lead screw technology is. So, as Matthew mentioned, lead screws have been around for many years, and they're used within many machines within many industries. And what you'll typically find is that they all use the same traditional tread forms. So the ones you're likely to come across are the trapezoidal, the acme, and the metric thread forms. Now, while these are reliable and they've been tested over time, like all technologies, there's always room for improvement, and that's where dry spin comes in. So the dry spin thread form was developed by igus and patented by us to be used with our plastic nuts, and the aim of giving us the highest efficiencies, best wear rates and lowest coefficients of friction possible. So if you look at the picture here, what we've got is we've got a picture of one of their standard lead screws, and we show the standard geometry, and you can look straight away and you can see the geometry of the dry spin thread form, and straight away you can see the differences. So the standard thread form, they have steep thread angles, whereas we have flatter thread angles. They have angular teeth, whereas we have rounded teeth, and they are symmetrical between the thread flanks, whereas we are asymmetrical. And you might ask yourself, what difference does the geometry of the thread form make? And it makes quite a lot. So with the flatter thread angles, when we are changing rotational movement into linear movement, we lose less power, which makes us more efficient. With the rounded teeth, we are reducing the contact surface area between the lead screw and the lead screw nut, which reduces vibrations and noise, which is very important when moving at high speeds. And as we are asymmetrical rather than symmetrical, that means we've moved the distance between the thread flanks out, so that allows us to put more of our tribologically optimised material into the sliding part of the lead screw, which gives us a longer service life. So, as standard, the dry spin lead screw technology is available in over 50 dimensional lead screw options, and we have 10 nut versions and 7 different materials. Much just like with our bearing technology, it depends on your application which lead screw nut and which material is most suitable for you. So when it comes to specifying the correct parts, we look at what certification does the material need to be. Does it need to be FDA approved? What chemicals are being used? What's the speeds? What's the loads? And then when we've got all this information, we can give you the best setup. Now, as well as the mechanical advantages that we also offer higher sustainability over the traditional lead screw methods. And we offer higher sustainability in a few ways. First of all, we're lubrication free, so there's no harmful lubricants being used on our lead screws or our lead screw nuts, which means there's no harmful lubricants being released into the environment. We also offer a longer life, so we're minimising waste. Not only are we minimising waste, we're reducing the carbon footprint of producing parts because we're producing less parts, and we are more sustainable because we're lightweight. And you might think, how does lightweight make us more sustainable? And that does in a couple of ways. So first of all, being lightweight is one of the reasons that we're more efficient. And as we're more efficient, that means there's less power being used to operate our lead screw assemblies, which means we're reducing the carbon footprint of your machine. And also, being lightweight, we're reducing the carbon footprint when it comes to transporting the parts. Not only from us transporting our parts to you, but when we're on your machine, we're reducing the weight of the machine, and we are reducing the carbon footprint when you're transporting that machine on site. So, as I mentioned earlier on, we have a huge range of standard nuts, but what we can also do is we can also produce the nut to your design. So we can do this in a few ways. First of all, we can injection mold. So if you've got a design, we can make the nut design, make a tool to your nut design, and then we can injection mold it in any of our materials. And then we can also CNC machine it for you. So we can extrude our plastic rod material, and then we can machine the part in your design. But before you get there, if you're looking to prove the concept or looking to prototype the part, we also have our own 3D printing materials. So we'll be able to print the part in our SLS materials for you to test. Now, what we also offer, along with all of this, is some great online tools. So the tool here that we've got is our Design Online, and this is where you can put in the details of the lead screw that you're using. You can add in any details that you need machined so it can fit into your assembly, such as bevels, keyways, circlip grooves, and this tool will give you the 2D drawing and the CAD file for the part straight away. Not only that, it will also give you the price for getting the parts machined to fit into your design. The other great tool that we offer is our expert system. So we offer expert systems for all our products, but this one here is for the lead screw, and what it does is you put in your application details such as loads, speeds, duty cycle, that's just how often it's going to be moved, and this tool will tell you the best material for your application, the best thread size for your application, and it will tell you the the life that you'll get out of our products. Not only that, it also tells you the required drive torque to move the product, which is really important when you are specifying the correct motors. With this as well, if you use our online expert system to calculate the lifetime within your application, we'll also offer a 4-year warranty on the parts, and no other manufacturer is doing that. We've also got our online shop, so once you've specified the correct system, you've designed it to fit into your system, you can quick and easy upload the parts into your shopping cart, and you can check out within minutes. All nice and easy to do there. And if it's standard parts, you'll get them on the next day delivery. Now, with our mechanical advantages and our online tools, we've seen success in many industries. One industry that is a really growing industry for us at the moment is the railway industry, and you can see the application here. This is where we're used on the retractable step. So when the train comes into the station, before the door opens, the retractable step comes out, and then when everybody's back on the train, the door's closed, the retractable step comes back in. Nice and easy, bridging the gap between the carriage and the platform. When we spoke to the customer, they needed a robust, reliable solution that gave them a predictable lifetime and required minimum maintenance. We were able to use our online tools to design the part to fit into their system and specify the correct materials and thread size for their part. And we've gave them a robust, reliable solution that requires no maintenance, and we've gave them a predictable lifetime service which will outlast the lifetime of the door. So we're all good with that. Now, as Matthew mentioned, all our manufacturing is done in Igus Cologne, but in the UK we have a factory in Northampton. The top floor of the factory in Northampton we've made into a showroom which showcases all our products, not just our lead screws. And what we would like to do today is invite all of you here to come to our factory in Northampton and see our parts, see our factory, see how we operate, and we might even buy you some lunch. So if anybody would be interested in that, just come and see us at the end and we can do that for you. And that's it.
Thank you, Rob, for that. And we have time now if anyone has any questions about dryspin or generally about igus. Or you can come to stand 180 if you've got a really secret question that you want us to look at. But anyway, thank you for listening. I hope that was useful to see the development here in what is quite a basic bit of engineering, having a lead screw system, but dryspin really takes it up a level and improves both the life and the efficiency of a lead screw system. Come and have a look at it. And yeah, Rob and I will be hanging around if you need any further support or questions. But thank you for your time and for listening.